Hello YouTube. This is part 2 of my Scum and Villainy set, the most wanted repaint. Right here we have our Y-Wing and the two Z95 headhunters. They have been primered, and I was going to primer them gray. I decided to primer them white. Half of that was done on accident because I picked up a piece of primer and I thought it was gray and then discovered that it was white. Decided to go with it anyway though because the overall repaint is going to have white in it, and I figured it might be easier to we're going to match this color scheme from my Firespray 31. I thought it'd be easier to kind of match the white with a white primer instead of trying to paint white on top of gray. I figure all the used look that we want to achieve in these models we can get with a good wash. Now, what I'm going to show you are some of the paints and the tools that I use when doing the miniature repaints. Some really useful tools I think that are essential is definitely masking tape. Now, this stuff you can find at a hobby store. Some Michaels might even carry them. I went to Hobby Lobby to get mine. This is the 1/4 inch size. I find that to be the best size for the detailing because of just how small the models are. You want to get a utility knife. This is what I use to cut the different masking tapes to create designs and reach into those really tight spaces. Finally, this is a luxury tool item aside from paintbrushes, but I found it exceptionally useful. This particular tool is just a silicone rubber head that I use to actually rub or press against the paint to remove paint from areas that I don't want it. So, like when I'm painting and I get an extra glob of paint somewhere I don't want, that little silicone tip helps to pluck it right off. It's a lot more fine than a finger point, and it certainly gets where I need it to get pretty easily. So here are the paint colors that I'm going to choose to be using. This is a Prussian blue hue. I'm using a fluid acrylic made by Golden. Now, the reason I'm using this is in the past I've used just general acrylics. I'm kind of new to the hobby painting or the model painting, and so I've discovered that when I water my acrylics down, they work really well, but you lose a lot of opacity. This, although it looks transparent, has much more opacity, and so I'm going to go ahead and try to use this fluid acrylic, and this is the same blue that my brother used on the Firespray. For the washes I've decided to go into the big boys stadium and purchase some Citadel paints. This is the Knoll or the Nuln oil, whatever that name is called. This is basically the black wash or the dark wash. Helps to gain detail. This is the Agrax Earthshade, or Agrax Earthshade. Again, not sure how you pronounce it. This, as you can tell, is a little more brown. This gives you a muddy, dirty look. And so since these are pirate ships, they probably don't concern themselves with stopping by rich space stations and, you know, cleaning their vessels too often. I'm going to try to combine the two and get a real nice dirty look as well as a heavy detailed look. The original paint jobs on these were so nice, I really want to do them justice. So here are the designs that I've decided to implement. Getting a little long on the time here. This is my Y-Wing repaint. Anything that you see that's kind of grayed out like that will be that navy blue. I'm going to try to keep the original look in design as much as possible, and I'm adding the zigzag design that was on the Firespray. The skull design, I'm going to try to either do the Mandalorian skull or create my own skull, but some type of logo so that when the Y-Wing is coming straight at you, or when it's looking straight at you, on those bomber tanks, you're going to see, I don't know if my camera wants to focus, it's not going to play nice, but right there on those bomber tanks, you'll have the skull looking straight at you when the Y-Wing comes at you. I think that'll look pretty cool. So, for the Z95 Headhunter, Here's some of my design. I'm going to go with an asymmetric design, again putting the skull on the one wing and then this sort of crescent swoop on the other with a black outline. That black outline swoop is on the Firespray 31 that my brother repainted. I also am going to keep the nostalgia of the white cockpit area as the original paint jobs had, just adding more of the sort of the flourishes, and these will be asymmetric, meaning that one will have the swoop on one side while the other has the swoop on the other side. So they'll actually be sort of a twinned team left and right, and that's kind of going to have a really cool aesthetic when I line them up in tournament play. Anyway, so yeah, so just some of the basic paints, some of the basic tools, and part 3 is going to show me actually getting to work. Thanks for watching.